I would like to call to order this meeting of the Winchton Board of Selectmen. It is Thursday, July 13th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m.
Call this meeting of the Winchton Finance Committee to order at the same time.
Let's rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So first of all, I'd like to express appreciation for the work that people did the last couple of days to get all the information put together in very manageable form and get the background information to us last night, so we had a chance to kind of go through it. What we're going to do is go through the summary of transfer requests. I'll identify the account that's being transferred from and to, and then the amount, and I'll call for a vote from the Finance Committee, and Audrey will call for a vote from the Board of Selectmen. And I should go through this pretty quickly.
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
If I may just note for the recording, we are not being broadcast live this evening. The meeting is being recorded and will be available through the town manager's office or online on the website. Thank you very much.
So we'll start off with the big money first. First request is retiring health insurance, tube Monty Tech assessment, 16 cents.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. All right, we get that filled out. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, to take a vote. All in favor from the Finance Committee of the transfer, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you. Board of Selectmen, any questions, comments? Entertain a motion.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Ward.
move to transfer 16 cents from the retiree health insurance account to the Monty Tech assessment account.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Next, I'll take the next three as a group. From the building repair, town hall building repair and maintenance, to help defray the cost of the town hall cupola work, $10,782.20. From the town hall vacant building expense, $967.17. And from town hall office supplies, $650.63 for a total of $12,400. And I entertain a motion for all three of those as one.
I move to approve the transfers as stated.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussions? Hearing none. All in favor of those three transfers?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you. Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? I'll take a motion.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Ward.
move to approve the transfer total amount of $12,400 from the building repair and maintenance, town hall vacant building expense, and office supplies to the town hall cupola account as presented this evening.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yep. Next is to transfer from the community development salary, the sum of $64,000 to cover the overages in the town manager's personnel salaries.
I make a motion to approve the transfer.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. Any questions?
I do have a question. I just wondered what the overage is in the town manager. Was that to do with the buyout?
No, the buyout actually will affect this year, since he left in July. Linda's staying on to help.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah.
Thank you, Board of Selectmen. Any questions, comments? There are none. I'll take a motion.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Ward.
move to approve the transfer of $64,000 from the community development salary account to town manager's salary account as presented this evening.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. King, yours.
Okay. From the retiree health insurance account to the collector treasurer's software support account, sum of $13,000. Cover a shortfall.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussions? Hearing none, take a voice vote. All in
Yeah.
favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you, Board of Selectmen. Questions, comments? Hearing none, take a motion.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Ward.
move to approve the transfer of $13,000 from the retiree health insurance account to the CT software support account as presented this evening.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. King.
Right. Also from the community development salary account to the internet expense account, $200.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll take a motion.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Ward.
move to approve the transfer of $200 from the community development salary account to the internet expense account as presented this evening.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye. Mr. King.
From the town hall vacant building expense to the town hall overtime, $449.75.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, take a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you. Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? Take a motion.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Ward.
move to approve the transfer of $449.75 from the town hall vacant building expense account to the town hall overtime account as presented this evening.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you.
Right, from the fire department building and equipment repair account to the fire department overtime, sum of $13,345.95.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? I'll take a motion.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Ward.
move to approve the transfer of $13,345.95 from the fire department building and equipment repair account to the fire department overtime account as presented this evening.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you.
From fire department equipment to fire department overtime, sum of $172.35.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, take a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? I'll take a motion.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Ward.
move to approve the transfer of $172.35 from the fire department equipment account to the fire department overtime account as presented this evening.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you.
From the ambulance.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. 9 and 10, we voted on Monday night. They've already been approved.
We did vote on both of those, I think, back in June.
I know we did at least one this past Monday.
Yeah, we did vote Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't need to vote on those.
So, already done. Okay.
Then from the community development director's salary account the land use clerk, $6,809.20.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, take voice vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Ward.
move to approve the transfer of $6,809.20 from the CD Director salary account to the land use clerk account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Mr.
Sorry, if I may, I don't know if the board is selected on those two, 9 and 10 you mentioned.
Yes, they do.
They did?
Yep. Yep.
Were those-
Right
Those
after.
are the first two?
Those were the first two,
Oh, okay.
yes. Yep.
Before,
Right. Those, okay.
Yeah, we voted.
no, I understand.
I don't remember. It's 4 days ago.
Right,
Those are the first two.
No, I think those are the two that you guys voted at your meeting back in June,
No.
but not, those aren't the two that were at the Board of Selectmen's meeting.
All right, we voted on,
Because we didn't do any of the fire department on Monday night.
Yep.
Yeah.
they never were recorded because they weren't voted on.
Ambulance certification, fire department overtime voted 7-10, and the fire department building and fire department overtime 3781 voted 7-10. So both of those were voted Monday night.
By both.
Before we stopped the meeting,
Before we stopped the meeting.
we had voted on those two.
Okay.
If you don't think the selectmen voted, I mean, they could
Excuse me,
reaffirm their vote.
Mr. Kane, just to reaffirm, $6,200 from the ambulance certification to the fire department overtime. Questions, comments? I'll take a motion.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Ward.
move to approve the transfer of $6,200 from the ambulance certification account to the fire department overtime account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. One other, $3,700.81 from fire department building and equipment repair to the fire department overtime. Mr. Ward.
Move to approve the transfer of $3,700.81 from the fire department building and equipment repair account to the fire department overtime account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you.
I want to make sure.
Community Development Director salary account to land use clerk account.
So moved.
We just did this one.
Yeah, that was all
State
set.
management.
DPW fleet maintenance salary to the DPW administrative clerk, $715.
So moved.
Second.
We'll take,
Any questions?
we'll take Mr. Delay.
No fighting. Any questions or comments? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? Mr. Ward?
Madam Chair, move to approve the transfer of $715 from the fleet maintenance salary account to the DPW admin clerk account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Okay.
Also from the fleet maintenance salary account to the cemetery foreman's account, $875.
So moved.
Moved and seconded, any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? There are none. Mr. Ward?
Madam Chair, move to approve the sum of $875 from the fleet maintenance salary account to the cemetery foreman account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Thank you.
Also from the fleet maintenance salary account to the highway overtime account, $2,000.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any questions or discussion? None. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you. Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? There are none. Mr. Ward?
Madam Chair, move to approve the transfer of $2,000 from the fleet maintenance salary account to the highway overtime account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Thank you.
Yeah. From the transfer station safety shoes account to the transfer station tipping account, sum of $250.
So moved.
Second.
I don't know what they're tipping.
Cows?
The shoes.
That doesn't cover the deficit in the
It does.
tipping account.
It does, because Katie, we had a grant that we could slide in the trash bags and move trash bags over to there, and I didn't have to come in front of you guys for it, so it'll be straightened out.
Thank you. Now it makes sense.
Yeah, sorry.
Right, so we get a motion in a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? Mr. Ward?
Madam Chair, move to approve the transfer of $250 from the transfer safety shoes account to the transfer station tipping account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
From the health insurance account to snow and ice payroll account, sum of $41,848.43.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Questions, comments from the Board of Selectmen? I would just like to make a note. I realize you weren't here, obviously, and you've been handed the budget, all fait accompli. If- That's a lot of money to be left in a health insurance account. Just when you have a moment, if you could just look, I just want to make sure that we budgeted correctly for the coming year.
Thank goodness we did have it.
Yes, agreed, agreed.
It seems to me that
110,000.
between the time the budget was put together and the time they signed off on with the contract, the increase dropped.
I know, Mr. Sosbach was able to negotiate it.
8%,
Yeah.
and it came down to about 5%.
5%, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Anything further from the board? Mr. Ward?
Madam Chair, move to approve to transfer the sum of $41,848.43 from the health insurance account to the snow and ice payroll account.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
Right, from the health insurance account to the snow and ice materials account, sum of $56,151.57.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? Mr. Ward?
Madam Chair, move to approve the sum of $56,151.57 from the health insurance account to the snow and ice materials account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
From the school transportation account to the snow and ice materials account, sum of $66,528.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? Mr. Ward?
Madam Chair, move to approve the transfer of $66,528 from the school transportation account to the snow and ice materials account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
From the special education transportation account to the snow and ice materials account, sum of $35,000.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? Mr. Ward?
Madam Chair, move to approve the transfer of $35,000 from the sped transportation account to the snow and ice materials account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
From the community development director salary account to the veteran salary account, a sum of $1,600.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? None, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? Mr. Ward?
Madam Chair, move to approve the transfer of $1,600 from the Community Development Salary Account to the Veterans Salary Account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. I try to keep my ear out to make sure I hear from everyone.
From the health insurance account to the life insurance account, the sum of $2,304.41.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? Mr. Ward?
Madam Chair, move to approve the transfer of $2,304.41 from the health insurance account to the life insurance account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
From the health insurance account to the life insurance for retirees account, $320.72.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? Mr. Ward?
Madam Chair, move to approve the transfer of $320.72 from the health insurance account to the life insurance retirees account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye.
From the workman's compensation account to the Medicare account, transfer of $21,000.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll take a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mrs. Lapointe.
that category just scares me. Do we have a good chunk left in there?
The workers' comp?
Yeah.
Our workers' comp was, that's what was left, 21,000.
Oh.
It was the Medicare, that was something to watch out for this year.
Anything further? Mr. Ward?
Madam Chair, move to approve the transfer of $21,000 from the workers' comp account to the Medicare account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye.
And from the retiree health insurance account to the Medicare account, the sum of $20,000.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Board of Selectmen, questions, comments? Mr. Ward?
Madam Chair, move to approve the transfer of $20,000 from the retiree health insurance account to the Medicare account as presented this evening.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye.
Yeah, if we could take a minute just for finance committee to vote on two requests for, from the fuel reserve fund. We will make short work of that.
Thank you.
So the first is from the Council on Aging, and they're looking for a sum of $9,073.24.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. Any questions or discussion? If none, take a voice vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And from the, yep, the library, request a sum of $386.03 again for fuel.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. Voice vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Okay. Yep. So we have on our agenda.
We have member comments.
Oh, that's a copy.
I would just like to thank Chief Smith because I know that you worked really hard this year to try and curb that overtime, and I truly appreciate it. And if you could speak to the man out there about snow next year, we'd appreciate it.
I have Audrey addressing that.
Well, again. You want to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn at 6:55.
Aye. Opposed?
It's safe.
We're in opposition to
Throw
adjournment.
that.
Yeah, these are for your signature. Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen and ladies. Moving on, Selectmen comments and announcements. Yes, Mr. Ward.
I just want to thank Deb, Dennis, for this summary sheet, which made life a lot easier this evening.
Mrs. LaPointe. Mrs. Blanchard. Thank you very much. Any public comments or announcements? Seeing and hearing none. Also, I did not ask earlier, is there anyone in the audience who is audio or video recording besides the town? All right, thank you very much. All right, appointments and resignations, we have none. We do have one permit application. This is an entertainment permit for the Ahimsa Haven Animal Rescue 5K road race.
Yes, that's me.
Please.
Hello there. Nicole. Good morning. Nicole Roberts from Ahimsa Haven Animal Rescue. My cat hat on tonight. We are looking to team up with Bullspit for our first ever stray cat strut to raise money for the animal shelter. So basically, patrons will register either via volunteer or Eventbrite. And then we're going to print up bar glasses because that seemed to go over really well. Everybody seems to like that kind of a prize at the end. So we are going to set up at Bullspit at 8:30 in the morning. We're going to register all the runners. We're going to provide them with a map. We would like to put little yard signs along the routes to give people like little cat facts or, spay neuter facts and give people opportunities to take selfies along the route. So it'll go Summer Drive to Beach Street to Lake to Front to Water to Ash to Hall, all around, up the bike path and back to Summer Drive and end at Bullspit. And the prize at the end would be a beer from Bullspit. So they'll give a token. The runner or the walker would go in and pass it in and give with, free beer or free drink if they didn't drink. So, and it's just a way to raise money and to, bring people to the chili cook-off because it's going hand in hand with the chili cook-off and to bring people to Bullspit. And I think it's just going to be a fun way of just combining everything all happening in one day.
Thank you. I love the idea of having multiple events going on the same day.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
You're going to double, triple, double your pleasure, double your fun.
Mm-hmm. You betcha.
So,
Yeah.
questions, comments from the board?
Madam Chair?
Mr. Ward?
So they'll be crossing Route 12.
They will be crossing Route
So
12.
do we have police set up to
I do
stop
not,
the traffic?
but I can have police set up to stop traffic.
Yeah, because they cannot cross
Okay.
without that type, particularly coming down from the Gulf, from the
From
school
Ash.
to cross over by the park.
Okay.
Yeah, the cars are moving too fast there.
Typically that route's 2 details.
Okay. So I'll ask for
Just talk to Dan.
Okay.
Because he might have the shift guys help as well.
Okay, perfect.
It'll take like 5 minutes for the first one, because everybody will go quick.
Mhm.
There'll be a lot slower spread out as they're coming across down there.
Perfect.
And do you count on water stops? Do you plan on having those?
We don't plan on water stops, no, but we probably could. This is our first 5K, so
Yeah, I
we're
know
very
it's,
green.
it's only, what, 3 miles?
It's only
roughly
3.1 miles. Yep. Mhm.
But if it's August and it's a 90 or 100-degree day, which it could be, you probably want at least one water stop
Okay, so
midway between that point.
sure, so I can have a volunteer along the route.
Yeah, volunteers are just about.
Absolutely. We're thinking of having Mario the cat. I don't know if you've met him. He was
Yes.
at the grand opening.
I know
Thinking
him.
of having him walk the 5K because it's just too hot without fur and stuff. He was actually going to rig up like this little air conditioning system in the head of the cat. So we were going to try and talk him into being out there. So he's a lot of fun.
And that is 8:30 to 11.
About 8:30 to 11.
Right.
Yeah. figure we can register the runners at 8:30 and then they can start at 9 and then, people can run or walk or do big things.
Sure.
Or even ride a bike. Yeah, strut, yeah.
Oh, let's make that strut,
Yes.
a bike, that's great, thank
Yeah.
you. Anything further for the board? If there is none, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair,
Mr.
move
Ward?
to approve the entertainment permit for, I'm always having trouble with this first name.
Ahimsa.
Ahimsa Haven Animal Rescue 5K Road Race for August 5th, 2023, 8:30 a.m. to roughly 11 a.m.
Made and seconded, any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor say aye,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, good luck.
Thank you.
That's it, under number 5, number 6. We have carried over from our beginning of the discussion on Monday regarding an acting interim town manager. Thank you to, I believe, Mrs. Calandrella, dug out the section 4.3 of the town charter. Does say under acting town manager, temporary absence, the town manager shall, subject to the approval of the Board of Selectmen and by letter filed with the Board of Selectmen and the town clerk, designate a qualified town officer or employee to exercise the powers and perform the duties of the town manager during a temporary absence. Because I know there was a question as to whether we were required to, and I think the charter is very clear that we do need to designate, and it cannot be myself as a Board of Selectmen member, because it does say designate a qualified town, I guess I'm a town officer, or employee. But I would rather, I think it should be someone who's the town hall.
When are you leaving?
I'm leaving July 27th.
So do we have another meeting?
No, we're not
That's why I wanted
meeting
to
again
bring it
until
up.
August,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Oh,
Ryan?
okay with that. Are you all right with that, Mr. Croto?
All right with that, thank you.
All right, thank you. So I will move that we appoint Brian Croto as the acting interim town manager
For that period.
for the period of time that Mr. McKinney, will be away.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to carry over, discuss requests for proposal bids for the town manager's search. We did get both copies Monday night. Looking at the RFP, correct me if I'm wrong, the RFP states that we have 60 days after the bids are submitted to actually make an award or to hold interviews. So is this something that we want to discuss further this evening or bringing in our August meeting?
I'm ready to vote tonight.
Okay, I just wanted to put it out there.
I don't want to put it off anymore.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mrs.
I
LeBoy.
have a question. It doesn't really matter for my decision, but I'm curious. In the municipal solutions
Mhm.
RFP on page 10, it gives an example of how they break down their pricing. Do we have our breakdown? I'd be curious to see what each level comes in at.
I'm
Just
not-
in my materials, I don't have the pricing attachment. I only have the pricing from what's written on our agenda. And I'm curious to see the pricing attachments, just because I'm curious about the different phases, the cost for each phase.
It's not in the back here anywhere.
It's not in mine anyway.
In theirs, they.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
so in this RFP process, it's supposed to be based off of qualifications and not off of price. Price is secondary to qualifications, the way this has been out.
So I'm hearing that the Board of Selectmen isn't allowed to see the pricing structure?
So they do, but the price with an RFP, if it was a straight up bid, then it goes to lowest bidder, but because it's an RFP, it's supposed to be based off of the specs or the qualifications of the firm.
I hear that, but I think we're capable enough to follow that edict and still know what the pricing information is.
That's just, I just wanted to tell you Mass General law, that's all.
Yeah. Is that information in the MRI
No.
document? So neither of them, we have that breakdown.
The,
Okay.
the other one, Municipal Solution has a little bit of it. They show a little bit of the breakdown.
They show the template, yeah, but I was curious
Yeah, but we
how
don't-
our pricing breaks down.
Well, we did have we know what the total bid was.
Mhm.
Right, I just wanted
Yep.
to, I'm kind of talking to my own self. So what is the pleasure of the board?
Madam Chair, I'd like to just say
Sure.
which company I feel is the best and why, because I went through both of these. So I think Municipal Resources Inc., and which happens to be the lowest bidder, is probably the best choice for us. And the reason is, first, they're a local company. Their headquarters is in Plymouth, New Hampshire. If you look at all the projects they've worked on, they're all over Massachusetts and New Hampshire. Municipal Solutions is out of Phoenix, Arizona. And I looked through all of their all the things they've done, and like 90% are in Florida. So they're trying to get up into this area of the country, but I personally don't want to be the guinea pig for them to try out on us. Municipal Resources Inc. has a lot of emphasis on meeting with the selectmen, staff, and screening committee. But when you look at Municipal Solutions, their priority is selectmen and department heads, and they don't even mention screening committee for several pages more in the book. So that. They're both going to do social media, which is pretty important in this day and age. They both saying it's a 90-day process to get somebody from beginning to end. Municipal Resources Inc. has a 12-month tenure guarantee, and Phoenix, the Municipal Solution, has a better one because it's 2 years. But what that means is if somebody leaves the job within a year, they will do the search over, unless it's the fault of the selectmen or the person dies in office. And I've seen some of Municipal Resources Inc. because they did Middleton, where our former town manager went to, and I watched all their presentations on TV, all their interviews, and they really did a professional job. Again, I looked through every document they had, and I found that the Phoenix company had at most two jobs they've done, one in New Hampshire, Hanover, where they help hire a fire chief. And like I said, 90% of their information, their company projects are out of Florida. The Municipal Resources had 48 Massachusetts and 61 New Hampshire towns that they've worked for. So, and the project team members, the ones for Municipal Resources, they had 2 or 3 who were formerly town managers or town administrators. The Arizona company didn't have anybody who held those positions. They're very, very smart. They have a big crew, and they're sort of national. But for our purposes, our needs, I just felt Municipal Resources Inc. is the best fit.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mrs. Lapointe.
I don't disagree with Rick's analysis, but one thing that I thought about, we've heard, at least I've heard over and over, that the pool for town managers around here is tiny, it's minuscule, and that it's just a rotating wheel. And so in that aspect, I kind of feel like the municipal solutions, bringing more of a pool in here and vetting people who might be willing, you know, who have an understanding of how our government works and might be interested in coming out this way, that might not be a bad thing, because the pool is just a regurgitation, is what I've heard. Yeah.
I just question how many people are going to pick up and move cross-country to come here.
No,
think-
I hear that.
Yeah. And plus, when they advertise this, it pretty much goes throughout, the country. It gets out there, so we can get people from other states around, but I think we're probably gonna end up with a pool from New Hampshire and Massachusetts, maybe Vermont. I think that's where they're coming from. And they all have probably small town government experience, town meeting type government and that sort of thing. So that's just, but I agree, that was one of the pluses for a national company. You may get more, but I question how many are gonna make that move. If they make that move, they'll want big dollars to make that move, and they might even want some moving expenses.
I think I only see one 2023 in MRI. Only one in 2023 that I've done, that's surprising. Oh, right.
Middleton, yeah.
That would make sense. That would make sense.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. Price aside, just looking at the, I think they're both qualified. I think we would get, a good quality report from both. I did like the fact that from Municipal Solutions, you and I met with David Evertson. He came up from Florida to go to a ball game in Boston, made a point to drive out, sit down with us and do some talking, drove around town a little bit. So I did appreciate, that effort on his part. I think I agree about the candidate pool. It does seem like it kind of gets into a certain area and the people just keep jumping, for the most part anyway, from one place to another within that area. The downside of going outside the area is you may get someone who is not as familiar with town meeting form of government. Or maybe you're looking to move into New England, into the area, from outside the area. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. So I see pros in both.
I think one other thing that sold me was their attachment D, municipal resources. They gave the information they created for Middleton when they did this, and it was, you read that thing, it's really well done.
Yeah, there's a lot of information there.
To put that out about the town, the Middleton challenges, what's going to face this town manager coming in. It laid it all out and it really did a good job. So if I was looking for a job, everything I need to know is in that description that they create. And I know the other company does the same thing, but they just talked about it. They didn't give an example.
Did any of us look at any of the links? I didn't look at the links. Did anybody? They gave links of like their Middleton presentation.
I just brought up both companies only to do a social media search to see if any company had real gripes.
Right.
Any red
Are
flags?
you learning from me?
And I couldn't find anything.
You're the only one I didn't see any gripes about, by the way.
So anyway, that's what I have.
Melissa, any thoughts one way or the other?
Madam Chair, my opinion was the same as far as I was concerned with the municipal solutions, as far as everything being based out of New England, not in the New England area. But I like their approach. I found them to be more refreshing. It was reading through the other proposal, it just seemed like we're just going to regurgitate what they just did in Middleton. Almost like, it just seems like whoever was running in Middleton's now just going to be put on this list. It's almost like it's just their steps. But where going through the municipal solutions, I just found them more refreshing and thought maybe a new perspective. I don't know who our last search committee was, who we used, but I kind of liked their approach, their team. It just seemed refreshing, not the same pool that's just going to be used over and over again. Get some fresh perspectives on it.
I do have to give, I know like every year at the MMA, they give awards for the best annual town report of all the 351 towns and cities. The municipal solutions, I did find, visually, I really liked their report, the way that they put it together. It wasn't just, a lot of information.
Yeah, it was refreshing,
But
and it was
again, I
easy
think
to.
both. Yeah. So where does that leave us? I will make a motion that we hire Municipal Solutions LLC for, to do the executive search for our full-time town manager.
I'll second it for discussion.
Thank you. All right, so we're open for discussion.
Do you take questions? Or do you wait? Just asking.
Yeah, we'll take a question.
No, I'm just curious about, it's not so much about them right now, because I haven't seen it, but when you do decide, will the screening committee, selection committee, get to see a copy of the RFP so that we'll know what to expect?
I think it's reasonable.
I mean, I would hope so. It didn't happen last time, and it's okay, but, I'd rather be informed.
Yeah, well, just so you know, this is the first time that we've gone out for an RFP in my tenure here.
Who did it last time? Huh?
Mr. Lynch did.
No, I know, because I
Yeah,
was on the
but we
committee.
didn't actually submit an
Oh,
RFP
got
out
it.
there and such
Okay.
like that. This is the first time that we've done an RFP.
Yeah.
So there may not have been much of anything.
Yeah, and
But-
the other odd question I have is related to timing
Mhm.
and when you start, because you said this is 90 days. I'm just curious about, our current interim town manager has a perspective on town finances, and that there's, we sort of have to get our things lined up in that area. It's kind of a vulnerability that we have right now. And I'm curious about having him here for a bit to make sure that stuff can happen. I mean, that's up to you, and, because our new town manager is going to come in, and obviously they have to be responsible for the management of the town and the different departments and all of that. But there is a huge, huge requirement to also be looking at the economic development and the projects that are already underway. So it would be awfully nice if we knew that our departments and system and everything like that was up to date, and
Yeah.
so that's all.
No, that's fine. That's kind of why I mentioned, we have 60 days. I understand, Rick said he'd like to get moving on it. I have no qualms holding off.
I don't think we necessarily need to hold off. I think it's gonna take a while to really get the ball rolling anyway. And who knows, Mr. McKinney might apply.
I love his poker face. I mean, you cannot tell what that man is thinking.
He said, I'll take a drink.
All right, so we do have a motion on the floor. Any further discussion?
Oh, I was gonna ask, what do we have budgeted for this? Do we have a line on a budget?
No, it would have to be.
I have another question. Sorry.
Did that answer the question? Yes, okay.
So my other question is based on timing. Now, what happens if they go through this process, if they cover this in their RFP, and that, because I think it's going to, finding the right candidates who are willing to come will be interesting. I mean, they may find some and they may not. What happens if, they bring us these candidates and we look at them and go,
They redo it at no extra cost.
okay, that's what I want to know. Thank you.
Does both companies do that?
I don't remember if MRI does.
Yeah, I know the solutions indicated yes, but I don't know.
And the solutions one said they would do it as many times as it takes.
Is that the Florida based or the?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question, Madam Chair?
Yes.
Does either one say what form of advertisement they're gonna use, whether the national one puts it on more databases, whereas the one out of New Hampshire will put it probably on MMA or something local?
That's a good question.
I remember they both said they would also like actively recruit people. I don't remember.
But from where is the interesting question?
I don't think MRI says what would happen if we don't like.
I don't know if this helps. Their consultant will combine the information obtained in their client consultant conference with the town with background information from the jurisdiction's website and other sources to create a profile which will include community background, form of government, longevity of department heads and elected officials, accomplishments, challenges, opportunities, and amenities and qualifications. This is multiple solutions. In summary, consultants will develop a draft comprehensive full-color recruitment profile, provide the draft for your review and comment, incorporate your recommended suggestions into the final document, and prepare for national distribution. But it doesn't, oh, there we go, dynamic recruiting, active pursuit, professional networking, and digital media.
We could obviously have them include MMA.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would expect them to hit the local ones as
Yeah,
well.
but once they create it, they can put it out to
Yeah.
any place.
Yeah, to answer the question, I think it was the question, I don't think MRI says what happens if we don't think any of the candidates they give us are a good fit. Number 15 on page 9. Excuse me, number 14 on page 9 says, following interviews with the finalists, the board, in consultation with our lead consultant, will determine what, if any, additional steps are needed to arrive at a final selection. So I don't know if that means they would charge us for another one, or. Madam Chair,
That's your point.
does Mr. McKinney have any input giving on the national, I think national positions, or maybe just state positions, executive positions you've had? Have you ever encountered either of these in any of your professional history and have any input?
I have, but if I were to become candidate, I should.
No, that's true. Sorry.
Anything further? Do you have a motion on the floor? It has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye,
No.
and the board votes no. So it does pass 3-1 for multiple municipal solutions.
It could be multiple solutions.
Madam Chair.
Yes, this is the point.
Once we get this started, I know they come out and meet with us a lot, all sorts of things, and it's gonna be, in my mind, 99% the screening committee.
Yep.
But during those meetings, could we, maybe the screening committee and the board have the opportunity to meet them?
So could I ask another question related to that?
I think that, I don't see any barrier to that. I guess I'm thinking the screening committee will be there'll be a constant flow of information between the screening committee meeting with the consultant and then the screening committee coming back and reporting to the board. I see that option definitely flowing back and forth, but as far as us being involved in the meeting,
Just like the initial introduction.
oh, yeah.
That's all I need.
I think that would be fine, yeah. But I would like to know who we're dealing with too.
So question.
Yes, Ms. Jen.
Question now. Do the meetings of the screening committee, does that under public meeting law? Do those have to be posted? And so,
Yes.
so someone's gonna have to be responsible for making sure that all gets
Yep.
coordinated.
We'll
and
have to have
happens.
minutes and such.
Okay.
I know maybe Sorry, it's already Thursday evening. I'll come in on Monday, Mary, and we can talk about getting back to them and.
I'm on vacation. Sorry.
Maybe. Okay. Deb?
Yeah.
Bill, whomever. So we can just figure out what the next steps are and getting connected to Municipal Solutions and then also reaching out to the screening committee.
Yeah, because I have another question. It's so, when will the screening committee be able to see the RFP so we can understand what this is about?
I would say we can have it Monday for you.
Okay. Is it,
I don't know, I may legally have to wait until it's
Yeah.
under contract?
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, once we execute the contract,
Okay.
let's just put it that way. Along with staff.
If I may sort of answer the question, so the screening committee, yeah, it is public, you have to
Yeah.
keep the minutes, but most of the work you do will be in executive session.
Right, that's
Because
what I
all the
thought.
candidates
Yes.
are not identified until they become finalists.
Right. Got it. Thank you. Right. Okay. Thanks.
Of course, you're welcome. All right, thank you, everyone, on that one. We do have a sewer betterment abatement request. 6.3, this is on 103 Maple Street.
Madam Chair, this was
Yes.
brought to our attention from the Treasurer Collector's Office that this was done in error, and we needed to remove it from their parcel and to give them a credit. Or abate the charges that have been assessed to this property.
Yeah, I do see the letter. And that was added onto the FY23 billing. It should not have happened. Okay. Have they already paid?
Yes.
For those days? Okay. So it does need to be rebated back to
Yes.
them. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions, comments? Was this a betterment that they previously paid off?
I believe so, yes. I think it was done by the previous Treasurer Collector, so
Okay.
I understand it was just done in error on that
Just needed to be
property.
cleared off and it
Yes.
wasn't or something? Okay, thank you. Questions, comments from the board? If there are none, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Ward?
I move to approve a sewer betterment abatement of $451.15 to Mark and Elaine Robichaud of 103 Maple Street, Winchton, Mass, as presented this evening.
Made and seconded, any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. No old business, communications, our next meeting is August 14th or 13th?
14th.
It's a Monday.
14th, okay. August 14th, okay.
Just for I forgot. Are we still doing one meeting in August or did we?
Just one.
Okay,
Yeah.
I forgot.
No, that's fine, yeah, just August 14th. You know, if we need to, then we can call one, but. So our next meeting, regular meeting is August 14th, 2023. Anything further?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mrs. LaPointe.
That means this wouldn't be able to get started until after that, correct? Do we have to have a vote on the contract prior to it starting? I just don't know if I want to wait that long.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Would it be in order for the board to authorize me to enter into a contract? with
Because we know the
Municipal
amount
Solutions?
already.
Right.
We already know what it is.
So moved.
Second.
Is that enough for a motion for you?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. This one, thank you. Yes. Anything further?
Motion to adjourn?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We have adjourned at 7:29. Remember, we're recording until Debbie gets over there to turn it on.
Or Friday.